bastard!
Alienware's M11x is a unique specimen, a gaming notebook that's almost as small as a netbook. But don't let the size fool you, because this little computer has a lot of power packed inside. The physical design is in line with Alienware's other notebooks, including plenty of LED backlighting and aggressive angles. Under the hood, it sports an Intel Core 2 Dual processor clocked at 1.3 GHz, but easily overclocks to 1.7 GHz with a BIOS setting. Our test unit came with 4 GB of RAM, a 500 GB hard drive, and came with Windows 7 Home Premium. The glossy 11.6-inch 1366 by 768 LED backlit LCD is very vibrant, and I was very happy with its wide viewing angle horizontally. 2 or 3 people could easily huddle around to watch video, as long as you avoid viewing from a high angle or glare from the sun. But this notebook wasn't designed just for watching videos, it was made to play games. The GPU in the M11X is an NVIDIA GT335M, which is a DirectX 10 chip with 450 MHz clock core and 1 GB frame buffer. It's a more powerful version of the 330M video card found in Apple's new MacBook Pros and has 72 cores compared to the GT330's 48. That means it performs better than the MacBook Pros in modern, shader-intensive games, which our testing proved. I was able to comfortably run games like Far Cry 2, Dirt 2, and even Crysis at the screen's native 1366 by 768 resolution. The caveat was that we had to run graphics settings to medium in order to get an average of above 30 frames per second. Far Cry 2 was particularly interesting because the game was still very playable at ultra high quality, except during heavy action scenes with lots of AI characters and exploding objects. But during the open savannah scenes, the game could run with full visual fidelity, an indication that the CPU might be the bottleneck. The upshot for gaming is that you'll be able to play the vast majority of modern games if you take the time to fine-tune settings, but it'll really depend on the requirements of each game. Battlefield Bad Company 2 will need some settings switched to medium quality, but an older game like Team Fortress 2 can run without compromises. The catch, and there's always a catch, is that the M11X is one loud machine. The rear fan simply bellowed and wailed when I played games or watched movies.
That's a pretty loud fan.
Thankfully, there are 2 headphone jacks and a mic jack. And though the system didn't get overly hot under full load, I don't recommend putting it on your lap, especially when you play games. The integrated 8-cell battery afforded us enough power to play an H.264 encoded DVD rip in VLC player for about 3.5 hours. That's not too shabby, but it isn't particularly notable either. It lasted considerably longer than the battery in Alienware's 15-inch netbook, but couldn't match the lifespan of a Pine Trail netbook. The M11X has a GPU switching feature to conserve power and extend battery life without restarting the computer. A function key swaps the laptop from using NVIDIA's graphics card to an Intel integrated one. The process takes about 3 seconds while the screen blacks out, but all video programs and games need to be closed first. The switching system isn't as seamless as NVIDIA's Optimus technology that you'll find in the newest MacBook Pros, but I thought it worked well enough when I was low on juice and just wanted to keep surfing the web or watching Hulu. In the integrated graphics mode, I was even able to do very light gaming, like Counter-Strike and even Portal, but frame rates weren't very consistent. However, high-definition movie playback, including 1080p video, was perfectly acceptable in this low-power mode, and battery life jumped to just under 7 hours. Like the M15X we previously reviewed, the only software that comes with the M11X is Alienware's Command Center utility for adjusting backlighting colors, trackpad sensitivity, and power conservation. I'm still not a big fan of the trackpad's weak multi-touch features, but the keyboard was very comfortable to use. Steam is also bundled, which was a nice touch, and Valve's Portal came pre-installed. I really like the bevy of outputs included with the M11X. There are 3 USB ports, 2 headphone jacks, and 3 different types of video output: VGA, HDMI, and DisplayPort. It also has an integrated 1.3 megapixel webcam and a media card reader, as well as a SIM card slot. The SIM card slot won't work unless you order a broadband modem upgrade, so we weren't able to just pop our iPhone SIM right into the machine. Our review unit was priced at $1,100. The M11X actually starts at $800. The base configuration limits you to 2 GB of RAM, a 160 GB hard drive, and a different 1.3 GHz Intel CPU with only 2 MB of cache. RAM aside, the performance difference between the base model and the M11X we tested shouldn't be that dramatic since they both use the same GPU. If you do plan on buying an upgraded model, I recommend spending that money on more memory and a bigger hard drive. If you're a PC gamer, the M11X is an excellent alternative to small notebooks like the 13-inch MacBook Pro. The ultra-low voltage CPU isn't top of the line, so don't expect to do heavy photoshopping or video editing on this laptop. But it's a fair trade since a bigger GPU gets you better performance in games. The M11X weighs in at just under 4.5 pounds, so it's not light enough to carry with you everywhere like a netbook. It's also a little thick, but it's still easily the most portable gaming laptop I've tested. There's simply nothing else like it. This is a gaming notebook I'd be proud to take with me to a LAN party.
You know, when I first saw this movie, I thought that Michael Cera would be perfect for it. But in retrospect, this kid was really good.
Playing with Sarah?
Yeah, playing Michael Cera.